nature of our playing field. But I can tell you that we have identified 7 critical issues that we say are the issues we want to make sure that they are dealt with. And we have put on the table that Mr. Mnangagwa and ZANU-PF, let us agree on the nature of the pitch and the stadium we are going to play on. The playing field must be what we agree on. If you then do not want to agree, we will find ways of making you see the logic and agree with us. 7 critical issues. The right to vote is fundamental. We want every Zimbabwean above the age of 18 must find it easy to register to vote. Right now, they've been suppressing the voting and registration of voting in urban areas or areas that they perceive to be CCC strongholds. Unfortunately, rural areas are our strongholds. And that's where they've been using party structures and using crowheads and villages to go and register for voting. And I can tell you that we are everywhere as a citizen movement. So the right to vote is critical, including the diaspora voting. I saw in Angola recently, for the first time, Angolans in diaspora voted. In Kenya, diaspora vote was there. We want a diaspora vote in this country because it is part of the SADC protocols. It is also part of even our constitution. The right to vote. There can't be taxation without representation. Yet, we gain a lot of money from the diasporans who are doing a fantastic job, and I want to thank those in the diaspora for the wonderful job they are doing at a family level, in various communities, and even nationally. They continue to pivot our country forward. We want to thank them, but they have to be given the right to vote. You can't get their money when you're also not giving them their rights. They have to have their rights. The issue of real-time announcement of votes. We don't want this meticulous verification business. Votes must be on a public domain, real time, and announced so that we all know. That's why in Kenya right now, of course, they have their disputes. But at least people know the outcome because it was being posted on a public domain. Even the press had quite access into the process. That is what we are pushing. Number 3, we want to make sure that the voters' roll is audited and auditable in terms of the Constitution. Let there be an audit by audit firms of the voters' roll so that we are happy that the voters' roll is clean and credible. And once it is like that, we know that the syllabus is what we are agreeing on. That is what we want to see happen. Of course, the security of the voter is critical in the rural areas, and the security of the vote in terms of making sure that ballot papers, when they are printed, we know them, and we have identified all this. The issue of the media, the security of journalists, is also one critical issue, but also the ability. I don't want to be on ZBC. I have other platforms, but it's my right as a citizen to also share on a marketplace of ideas, my ideas. They always speak on my behalf. Why don't you give me the opportunity? If you want, I'm inviting Mr. Mnangagwa on a live television debate. I know that he will not campaign thereafter because I'll just reduce him to mincemeat, intellectually and even on ideas. Because I have a clear and a solid plan, a new Great Zimbabwe plan for Zimbabwe, which is going to develop our country. Now they are celebrating opening of supermarkets, opening of service stations, and making a narrow lane to Masvingo, and they say we've done very well. That's not infrastructure. You want to claim the parliament that was built by Mugabe, that's not infrastructure. Please don't go and claim other people's children and then claim you have a big family. Start your own. We want to see what you are able to do. We have not shown anything. You have squandered your time. They said, let's give ED a chance. There's no chance. You know, he has squandered all the opportunities. They say, no, it's good for business. Business is in tatters. He's at loggerheads with business. And we told business that we are the best deal for business because we provide that conducive environment for them to do business, and we will not have politicians putting their fingers in the pie of business. And that is our offer and our sell. I hope effort you are answered in terms of our reforms, but in terms of what is to be done, I told you that we have a raft of measures that we are implementing to make sure that the elections are done. It's not about ZANU-PF, it's about all of us, because elections do not belong to a political party, they belong to the citizens of Zimbabwe.
Maybe a follow-up if I'm allowed.
Please do.
Do you think then we have enough time of all the things that you have mentioned?
It's an overnight affair. It's an overnight affair effort. Where there's will, there's a way. We've done it before. You know, it's just a question of people sitting, agreeing, so that we don't have a disputed election. We've called it PREPARE, which is an acronym for Pre-Election Pact on Electoral Reforms. so that we agree on a pre-election and a post-election environment. What happens in the announcement of election? What happens on the one who would have managed to win and the one who would have managed to allow the one to win to also be seen, to play a role, so that we have one nation, one people, and one vision. That can only be a product of a conversation. Nations are built by dialogue and a conversation. Nations are not built by violence. They are not built by these attacks of arrogance, trying to kill people. You end up with a symmetry and not a nation. And if you do that, we don't know what you want to be. Right, Agorito? Thank you.